Today we will be discussing the studies behind politics of food waste and its connection to food insecurity. This research is important because it will show and expose the issue and truth that is food waste and how it directly affects food insecurity. This will then show how if we eliminate food waste, we can work towards a better world for those who are food insecure. I will start with key terms, moving into my discussion, my analysis, and then finally my conclusion. First, with my terms, I want to talk about food security. As a direct quote from Knowledge for Food, by food security, we mean that all people at all times have physical and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy lifestyle. Food waste, from my own conclusion of the information I have studied, is food that is tossed in the trash or uneaten. Two facts that I want to leave you with before we move into my discussion is from FAO.org. Global food production must increase by 60% by 2050 in order to meet the demands of the growing world population. Next up, I have a discussion and quote from Springer.com talking about FAO, which is the Food and Agricultural Organization, who estimates that about 1/3 of the eligible food produced is lost or wasted each year, i.e. about 1.3 billion tons, with an economic cost estimated at about US $750 billion, excluding fish and seafood. What led to food waste being involved in food insecurity? Food is lost at different levels of the food supply chain. The food supply chain in 5 easy steps is the production, post-production, processing operations, distribution, and consumption. What I want to discuss today is talking about the different sides of the food supply chain and how it affects food insecurity. Speaking on one of my citations, it talks about different aspects of the food supply chain and how they lose their food. Starting with the agricultural production, many crops that are harvested are damaged or spilled. The animals in production may die due to diseases. Fish die or are discarded. Milk could be lost due to cattle diseases. The crops, animals, fish, or milk may be lost during post-harvest handling. And as a direct quote, storage and in transportation during processing, food may be lost or degraded during washing, peeling, slicing, canning, packaging, etc., or during slaughtering, smoking, freezing, or pasteurizing. During distribution, food may be lost or wasted during transport at wholesale markets, supermarkets, retailers, etc. Finally, consumers may waste food by throwing it away. This is a direct quote from Knowledge for Food. Some social conditions that food waste happens at is at every different level of the food supply chain, but it happens in a different way for each income population. Food waste in a whole is about making money. The wasting of food increases profit for food companies and increases the likelihood of the company selling more food to in turn make more money. The analysis discussed in one of my research articles that I found is the analysis focuses particularly on a range of forms of waste produced by global food systems to suggest that in a world overproducing food of which over 1/3 is wasted and in which waste has become a mechanism for profit, no presentation of food security that fails to take into account their systematic reality can produce valid or effective policy. End quote. This means that food is then used for making more money for corporations. By throwing your food away means that you will buy increasingly more food and then wasting even more food. It's an endless cycle of wasting and buying more food, which in turn gives more money to the corporations. The reduction in food losses and in developed regions decreased the number of undernourished people in developing regions by up to 63 million, leading to decreases in harvested areas, water utilization, and greenhouse gas emissions associated with food production. This means that decreasing the food waste will decrease the water utilization and greenhouse gas emissions associated with food production. This is a direct quote from one of my sources. This information all leads back into the corporate profit. Corporate profit is the one that defines what is sustainable or not, whether it makes the money or not. How to prevent the issues within the supply chain. 1. Adopting a holistic approach to food production. Assisting shelf life more closely and assessing the dates more closely. A redesign of the food supply chain. A new risk assessment for the food supply chain as well. And a couple other ways that you can help the globe in less food loss and food waste, as quoted from the World Resource Institute.org. A couple ways you can do and help with less food waste is improving your storage methods, redistributing your food, better food date labels, reducing your portion sizes, and launching customer and consumer awareness campaigns. Food waste has many sources down the food supply chain, and its main reason is because of companies wanting to make more money. We can use the information I provided to help reduce our food waste footprint. Globally, it's a hard task to tackle, but over time, it is something that is achievable.